refreshing. And, even for myself, hearing it and it's like, oh yeah, okay. You get feedback to yourself and you realize, hey, yeah, I've come this far and still got a lot more to go, but yeah, here I am,
I have done some stuff, right?
Yeah, I've done a couple things. Yep. So here we are, marketers, being marketers.
I was messaging Scott. I said, "Where are you? We're talking about you."
Yeah, get him on here, man. Get him on here.
Scott's such a good listener too. Like I always have to cut myself off talking to him. I'm like, sorry, Scott, I'm talking your ear off. I'm sure you have important things to do, but he just pulls it right out of you. Right?
He's there.
He should have been a therapist.
Not a therapist, he's a coach.
I know. Yes, they are. There's
Okay.
I always point that
It took a
out.
long time to figure out the difference, and there's a difference. Okay.
There's a big difference. Because when I've been thinking about, okay, what's my market? And then I have to think, well, I can't use a lot of words because I'd be into a whole bunch of people with mental health issues. And mental health, yes, that's a very broad scope. But when you say mental health, you think somebody's got real problems. And then you get into the ones that have the deeper problems who really need the professionals. I mean, that's not where I go. I make them dig deep down inside. So then I keep thinking, oh shit, I don't know what my core message is supposed to be. You'd think I'd grow up one of these days and know what I do.
Get there.
We're always learning, Sandra.
That's good.
I think we have the edutainment edge. That's for sure. I think we got that cornered.
Hey, so I got your email yesterday, Caleb, about is email dead? And then right after that, I got another email from one of it's called GMass. It's used for cold emailing. So funny how that worked out, huh?
Now, did my email headline make you open the email?
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. I like the reverse.
I didn't open it because I knew it was from you and I would get the good word live and in person.
All right. Well,
so you didn't open it, Chuck?
Did you open it, Sandra?
I opened it because it was Caleb.
Okay. So it was a trusted source.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if trustworthy, but you know the guy.
I thought, I'm going to see him tomorrow. I better know what he put in his email.
Okay, there's some good principles here. All right, so Chuck, you noticed the email. All right, at least, okay, you didn't read it, but did it like remind you, did it kind of like prep you? I'm going to see Caleb. I'm going to see Caleb tomorrow.
And it piqued my interest.
Good.
If I wasn't going to see you, I probably would have opened it.
Okay. Now, Sandra, what effect did the email have on you?
First off, I saw it was Caleb, and secondly, it was about email, and I am very quickly being convinced that email is the way to go. There's a Michael Hughes. I don't know if anybody knows Michael Hughes. He does his whole business, and he's an old codger like I am. And he does his whole business on emails and just free webinars once a month. And so I know email is the way to go. And collecting them. I don't want to collect emails with no reason kind of thing. I mean, I know you can run through, there's VAs that'll run through LinkedIn, and because people have their email in their profile, that's apparently permission to use the email kind of thing. And then if they unsubscribe, well, they're gone. But the ones that stayed in, now you've thinned it down. But he doesn't do it that way. He collects his emails slow and sure through his conversations within groups. So he has 3 or 4 groups where he can just bring real true value, and gets into the conversations there, and then they go into a side conversation. And but his thing that he puts out is email networking, if you will, but he does so much more underneath. And that's he's always interesting for me because that's my challenge, you know, and you get this much stuff. I mean, if you guys had your interviews with all the stuff that you know from the past, how do you narrow down to that one core and tell people in one sentence what you do that's going to catch their interest? And there's your challenge.
Well, we will dive into that in another time.
Yeah.
That's a bigger conversation.
Mhm. But I mean, I'm just the emails, I'm very alert to those emails. And I know most of the time, if there's something I want, I'm gonna have to give them the email, and I'm gonna have to unsubscribe because I can't have everybody's emails, you know, running in here all the time.
Andreas, sign of life. Can you just give us just a little?
He's got his hand over his heart. That's not a heart attack or anything.
Andreas, I know you're not feeling well. You don't have to show your beautiful face, but we hear your voice.
Hey team, what's up?
Hi, Andreas.
What's up, Andres?
Hey, guys.
Still in bed.
Are you? Do you have the Rona?
No, bro. I had it, bro. That's just a cold, bro.
It's a cold.
Wish you well.
Those things still exist. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right.
I'm excited
Better.
to hear about emails today.
Did you get the email yesterday, Andreas?
I did. I got the email. I opened it.
What effect did the email have on you?
Well, I have I just read the subject line and briefly it was about emails and I was like, okay, great. I'm gonna show up because we're about to do it's a timely thing. We're about to do some emails to pass meeting guests, meeting people, past meetings that I've had with people to see if they're still interested in what we have to offer.
Okay. So kind of a campaign, email campaign.
Yeah, we're gonna do a sequence. In HubSpot, we're allowed to do what's called a sequence with a goal. So if they reply, they get out of the sequence. And if they book a meeting, they get out of the sequence. So I'll probably do like 3 or 4 email sequence and hopefully we get some stuff out of there. Shake it up.
Shake it up. All right, cool. All right, so you saw the headline, you opened it, it piqued your interest, and here you are. And you are not on death's door, but not 100%. If you hadn't have got that email, would you have showed up this morning, or maybe just caught the recap later, or nothing?
Good question, man. I just got to figure out my habit, my behavior. So I've created a habit. You're on my calendar, so you're already there. But it piqued my excitement. So I'm like, okay, let's go. You know, I was like, all right, I want to get going with the email stuff. So it sounds really interesting.
Okay, cool. So this quarter, are we still in quarter 2?
No, yeah, yes we are.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
June, March, April,
Last month of
yeah,
quarter
the
2.
last month of quarter.
Yeah, so this month is all about sales presentations, and I thought it would be good. You know, we talked about direct mail for a while, the Giorgio 3-letter sequence, and I thought, well, why don't we talk about email as well, because it's accessible for just about anybody. And I listened to the podcast, which I dropped in the email from Russell Brunson, and you wouldn't know it by the headline. Honestly, that episode didn't even pique my curiosity. And I've gotten in this bad habit of, from people that I know, like, and trust, where I pretty much anything they say is of value, I still headline skim to determine if I want to listen to it, which is kind of bad habit, right? If you know everything they do is valuable, why not just entertaining and you always get something? Why do we still skim? It's just human behavior. I don't know why, right? So where Russell teaches hook, story, offer, we always have to, even from our fans, our patrons, and patron is someone who essentially buys everything you sell, you know, to the extent that they can afford it. You know, you don't have to, they're with you, right? They love you. And that's kind of the ultimate goal as we build online businesses, is we want people to know, like, and trust us and to love us. So we're trying to take prospects, turn them into leads, turn them into customers, turn them into clients, and then ultimately to patrons, right? Even our patrons, we still have to hook them in and engage them. I would consider you guys my patrons in the sense that you guys support me. You know who I am, you invite people, and I appreciate you all very much for that. And you guys are the reason I wake up and, shave, right? But bye, Sandra, we'll see you in a moment. But my point is, even with your biggest fans, you still need to hook their attention, right? So that was kind of a sidebar. I stumbled into this podcast episode. It was something about like an e-commerce event, which I'm not really interested in e-commerce, but they ended up talking about email half the episode, about how it still drives about 90% of their sales. And I forget what the lady's name is. I think Allison Prince or something like that. She was saying how email is such a driver for her sales on the e-commerce side. And Russell was saying that, despite their ClickFunnels insane reach and, unlimited ad budgets and all that, still most of the actual results where people show up for events, buy tickets, buy books, purchase, get on the ClickFunnels trials, it's all through email, right? And I've heard Russell say in other instances that they traced the customer journey, and most of the customers who sign up for a free trial, who end up sitting through a webinar and buying like the $3,000 ClickFunnels mega bundle, come in through like a free lead magnet, which just captures their email, and it just triggers the cascade, right? And I'm thinking, wow, this is really great. And then Russell said, basically, if you want to be successful in email, you need to be emailing your list about 3 times a week, right? Because they need to see you. They need to know it's you. They need to know you deliver value in the same way that you guys open my emails. Now, I only send them out about once a week, but I see you guys multiple touch points. So I think the principle remains that you need to be reaching out to your audience at least 2 or 3 times a week so they don't forget about you. Because unfortunately, I mean, Chuck, how many emails do you get a day?
A lot. I don't know.
What's the number?
50.
50, Steve?
How many do I get?
Yeah, just
Man,
estimation.
100.
Okay, Andreas, how many emails do you get a day? Andreas has gone to be with Jesus. So, I probably get about 30, 40 a day. I don't even see them all because they go into updates and promotions tabs and all that stuff.
Yep.
So if you are, okay, let's say someone gets 100 emails a day, which your average B2B client is probably not unreasonable. So over the course of a week, that could be 500 to 700 emails. All right. And then let's say you only email them once a month. What's 700 times 4? 7 times 4 would be 28.
280.
No, 14. Yeah, 28. That'd be 2,800 emails. Do you expect your one email out of 2,800 emails to make a difference?
Nope. It's got to be really catchy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Got to be really clicky.
We're always worried, like, oh, I'm going to email my list too much. I don't want them to unsubscribe. Everyone's getting all kinds of crap, right? You ever looked at someone's phone? Well, not like you're staring at their phone, but like you're sitting next to them and then you look over whatever and you see like how many unread emails they have on their little email icon.
Most of them.
I mean, my sister-in-law, I think hers says like 100,000. And
Wow.
I always make the joke and I'm like, oh, you got an email. Did you see that? And she's like, But my point is, email works. It's just a crowd. It's just a noisy, crowded marketplace. So how do you stay top? How do you get people to open your email? So, the hook of my email, how do you get people to actually open them and read them? And that's just consistency. And so we need to stop if we really want to succeed in this. And if we want to stand on the shoulders of giants, of people who are actually doing this at a high level, we need to be doing a few things. We need to be getting people onto our email list. That needs to be a key performance indicator. So not how many sales, not how many appointments did I have, like all that is a derivative of how many emails we get, right? So our KPI number one, if we're doing online marketing, because we're hearing it from people who are doing it at the highest level, 90% of their sales, and that's a guesstimation. It was somewhere around that, right? Let's just say for sake of discussion, the vast majority of sales and converted prospects, leads into clients and all that stuff comes ultimately through email, like at the end of the day. Maybe they came in through an ad originally, but somehow they made their way onto their email list, and that's where people actually buy, right?
Yep.
So if we're going to be doing online marketing at any level, our KPI number one, how many people are we adding to our list every single day? Okay, all right. And then two, I don't know if this is a KPI, but what is the commitment? How many times am I going to email them every single week? Okay, every time you publish a podcast, let your email list know. Every time you publish an Instagram post that's valuable, let your people know. Every time you're doing a live event, every time you have a new offer, every time, everything, right? If that means you're emailing people 2 or 3 times a day, I think that's okay, because the people, Sandra's like, oh, what you're going to do is you're going to force people to either engage with you or unsubscribe. You're gonna like give them that choice. Okay, Frank Kern emails at least once a day. You know how much money I've given to Frank Kern? How much money I think about giving to Frank Kern, because he's always like dangling this new offer in front of my face that I don't even need, but somehow I want because I read his freaking emails. Okay, and now his daughter, I don't know if it's Frank's copywriter writing under his daughter's name, but it's writing from the voice of his daughter, like, hey, this is Nora, I'm Frank's daughter. My dad just turned 50 and we're doing this whole promotion and you need to be in there. And I'm like, why am I reading this freaking email? It's because he emailed me all the time, right? I don't even know when I got on Frank Kern's email list. Like, I don't even know. Let's run a little experiment. Let's talk about Frank Kern and his emailing.
Let's see when you got his first email.
Well, I don't know if I want to like go back that far, but let me see. I think I've avoided opting in on my Caleb at FunnelFlow email with Frank Kern because I know it's just going to be like
It's gonna blow it up.
Well, I have great regard for Procter Gallagher, but I don't even open theirs now half the time because it's just too many.
okay.
So it won't matter what they're dangling. I don't want to disconnect from them because, you know, if their headline catches me, that'll be one thing. But if it's not catching me, regardless of how wonderful it is. Same thing with Mary Morrissey and her whatever brave thinking. Oh my.
April 28th, 29th, 29th, 30th. May 1st, 2nd. 5 emails in one day. Okay. And I'd set up a label so I would filter it. So not all of them are in here because I just couldn't handle it anymore. I'm like, Frank, I don't want to subscribe. Oh my gosh, I can't breathe. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you can tell. Okay. So this is for one promotion. So what Frank does all the time is he'll like add a new training or something to his bundle, and then he rebundles it as a whole new offer, right? So it's the same stuff you've already bought before, but he'll add one little nugget to it and put it all together, and you'll forget what you bought before or what you already have access to, and then he'll make you want it again. It's freaking brilliant.
Make you want it again. Yeah, that's great.
About Frank Kern is Nora Kern, Frank Kern's daughter. As you might know, look, so call to action. Okay, that's from Frank. You know, it's the same call to action, just boop.
Yeah. So
Right.
proves what they say. Make the offers.
Here's to my point. So what they did was add this basically 2-day event where they filmed everything to his other bundle of stuff, and it's a new offer. So essentially, he's selling this one thing for $297. You get everything else for free. Now, if you've ever bought into his emails before, you've already bought all this other stuff. So really, you're just buying another course for $297, which, you know, I mean, I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm just like, this is, yeah. And then he goes into an urgency sequence. So it's like, hey, I got something new. And then it's, hey, did you see what I sent you? And hey, you really need to read this. And then it's like, okay, I'm taking this away. I was nice. I tried to be nice, but I'm not going to be nice anymore. I'm taking it all away. Right. And then it just, yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 urgency emails.
6. Yep.
Okay. Now, Frank does an amazing job of staying top of mind in your inbox. Now, does everyone need to go this crazy? No, but I would like to make the challenge group here, small but mighty as we may be, to focus on 2 things: building our email list, and 2, reaching out to them at least 3 times a week, right? We don't need to do it 5 times a day, but if we really want to grow our business online, we need to be collecting email addresses aggressively and then actually reaching out to them. Now, I'm ashamed to say my email list is only like 94 people. And because honestly, it's very easy to get caught up in all the shiny stuff. It's very easy to get caught up in building funnels and, you know, I don't know, basically everything else except the fundamentals. It's almost like, it's kind of like losing weight. Everyone's like, well, how do you lose weight? How do you get healthy? Well, diet and exercise. Oh, no, no. Give me a pill, give me a supplement, give me a surgery, give me a magic bullet, right? Well, usually, often, in all things in life, the fundamentals are what get the results, okay?
That's right.
And so, hi, Sarah, I didn't see you back there. So, don't be afraid to email your list, and 2, obsess about building your list. So I've always known it was important. My nursing blog, I was able to monetize it, although in a small way, by collecting email lists and offering basically selling a resume writing service. And yeah, with FunnelFlow, I've never launched a lead magnet. My lead magnet has always been for this mastermind call. Hi, Sarah, how are you? Hello.
Sarah.
Good, thank you. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Caleb, I totally resonated with what you were just saying about it's so easy to get caught up in the shiny stuff, and helping all our clients grow their businesses and not do the same thing for ourselves. It's like cobbler's children. We're very good at doing everybody else's, less good at doing our own.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and I guess I'm saying a lot of things, but really what I'm trying to tell myself, and I'm sharing with all of us,
Tell us, Caleb.
there's really only 2 things we need to do to build our business. Like, that's it. Build our list and nurture that list. Publish, capture, nurture. Okay. So with FunnelFlow, I kind of just rested on my laurels that this call is a lead magnet. I'm gonna build my list this way. Well, honestly, this is a 1 tier up my value ladder, right? So people need to get a little bit of value from me before they probably want to sit and listen to me. Okay. If they read something that, oh, this guy's got something interesting to say, he's done some interesting things, then then it makes sense for them to show up to a live call. So anyway, my list has never exponentially grown, right? And so listening to this podcast, and once again, I was washing dishes. That's where all my best learning happens, because you know, it was either I stare out the window as I scrub God knows what off the pans, or you know, I make the most of that time. Anyway, I'm rambling. This is simple. This whole online marketing thing is simple because email still works. Now with ads and TikTok and YouTube and stuff, the whole point of those is just to get them onto our list. So Andreas is saying, are we going to talk about building lists? Yes, Andreas, we are. Would you say that lists are leads for sales, or are they not qualified enough? Okay, well, it depends. So I think it depends what you do with them. Now, each person on a list is actually a human being. It's not an email address. So when you're actually collecting email addresses, those are actually human beings, hopefully, unless bots are opting into your list, which is weird, and I don't know how that works. But another Frank Kern story again, and maybe he was selling me something when he was telling me this story. What he did was they had a simple Facebook lead gen ad that they were offering some PDF download or something. He said there wasn't even a follow-up email campaign. And basically it was about, I really don't remember the details, but essentially it was a pitch for their ads agency, right? I think the offer was like $1,600 a month plus ad spend. They're going to run your ads for you. Okay. So through that campaign, he said they got up to over $50,000 a month in recurring revenue in a very short amount of time by simply collecting an email, phone number, and name. They sent them the PDF, and then someone would call them. I remember, so he taught about how successful that campaign was. And I remembered I actually opted into that campaign, and they outbound called me, and I really wanted to buy their service, but I just didn't have the money. Okay, so to answer your question, Andres, would you say the list are leads for sales, or they're not qualified enough? I think they can be qualified. I think if you're willing to do the work, they're as qualified as any other people, because they've raised their hand, they say, and all they're saying is, I'm interested in what you're talking about. Okay, so no matter what you're selling, if your email list building is around your expertise, which it is going to be naturally, if you want to do the work, you can make the sale right there. Okay. Now, the easier, I mean, the more scalable way to do it would, of course, be build your list, nurture them, reach out to them, and then, like Frank does, have that call to action all the time. Now, whether that's buy your thing, or it's book a call with me, or whatever your call to action is, it doesn't matter. It's the same principle. Okay. So then the people who you're actually talking to, they are pre-framed to actually buy something. Yeah, that makes sense. So, okay. So I had this epiphany. I thought, you know what? I'm overcomplicating this. You know, I would say, you know, like all people who trying to deliver results for other individuals, it's easy to doubt yourself and say, can I help you? Can I actually generate results for you, right? I want you to pay me a lot of money transparently, but I don't want to do that without you getting a return, okay? And so there's always that question in the back of my mind, can I deliver results to this client? And but with kind of this recent epiphany that if I can just build a list for them and you want it in, Hector? Okay, all right.
Hector, my man.
Yeah, normally you're doing like 3 things at once, so you know, you're happy to listen, but come on in, Hector. All right.
Well, he didn't get thrown in the slammer.
Yeah. There he is. Okay.
What's up, guys?
What's up, muscle shirt? How you doing?
Oh, my bad, my bad. I had
Oh,
to
you
take
look
off
good.
my suit. I was sweating, bro.
I don't need to hear about that. But yeah.
They didn't catch you, huh?
No, everything's good. Everything's good.
Right.
I was just saying, if I can build a list for somebody and I can get them to reach out to that list with a clear message, kind of to Sanders' point, here's what I do, here's how I can help you. I know I can generate results for them. Okay. And so with that confidence I'm bringing into my clients, I want you guys to operate on that as well. If I can build a list for myself and I can reach out to them and I can get them to open my emails the same way you guys opened up my email yesterday, like, oh, it's Sandra. She always has something interesting to say. Oh, it's Chuck, archive, you know, so that, or not archive, delete.
Oh, delete.
Unsubscribe.
It's still in there. I didn't read it. It's still there.
Report spam.
Delete forever.
It was interesting. I had a conversation yesterday and they were talking about peaceful profits, PROFITS.
Oh,
And
the booksellers.
I've heard of them. Books,
yeah,
yeah.
the
Write a-
booksellers, the
write a
million, whatever. And he was quite fascinated with the fact that he came right out. His opening line was, I'm giving you the book, or, you know, you're getting the book for $5, whatever it was. There's the book, and the reason I've got everything in there, I'm giving everything away. The how's, the whole thing, you know, because so much of it's attracting us in, and then, you know, they'll set you up, and then they'll keep the how back for when you buy. He just says you give it all to them, because the ones that are going to want to implement it are going to need the coaching anyhow. So then that was that whole aspect. But he comes right out at the first of the book. The reason I've got this book is because I want you to read it, and then I'm hoping that you'll want to implement with me. Right up front. Which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
I get so tired of these things that just keep rolling on through. Like, just
if you have good content, people will actually be anticipating your next email or communication. So depending on the value that you give, people are actually waiting for your next email.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's really so the two things I mentioned in my email. How do you get people to email to? Well, one, you have to be aggressive with list building. I'm going to show you an example that I built in the past that was actually successful, but I wasn't committed to the process and I abandoned it, even though it was successful, and I'm kicking myself. So we're relaunching it. And then two, how do you get them to open them? Consistency. And once you have a little bit of momentum, you can shift, you can adjust, you can like, whoa, what if I can't get them to buy anything? Well, you're never going to know unless you actually start building that list and reaching out to them.
Right.
Okay. So you have to start with the list building. And you also you kind of have to like trust fall into the process that, crap, if I'm going to make the investment to build this list, and the time investment to reach out to them on a consistent basis, that it's going to produce fruit. Well, in the same way a farmer plants his field, there is an element of faith that seed he puts into the ground is going to come back and produce a crop, right? So that's why that's why email marketing is not sexy, right? Because it's not instant, right?
Right.
You know, we want the viral ad, we want the viral YouTube video, we want the viral TikTok, and whatever that means. Like, how you monetize that, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there is a way, but all that flashbang of the latest platform, that comes and goes. But the written word is here to stay. Whether it was the written sales letter with Dan Kennedy, where he's mailing you sequential letters and he's basically forcing you to read them and make a decision, or the email, it's the same principle. You're sending subsequent emails and you're just staying top of mind. You're staying top of inbox. Has someone ever like resent an email to you and say, hey, I just want to push this to the top of your inbox, maybe you missed it? Like, oh yeah, sorry, totally. It's not that the message wasn't valid or that there wasn't something you needed to do. It's like, it just gets buried. All right. So it's not that email doesn't work. It's just a crowded marketplace. You need to stay top of mind. So anyway, so this is so Scott and I made this course called the Financial Intimacy Challenge. We were selling a $7 course, but we're not talking about the selling at this point. We're just talking about lead generation. So we took a portion of that and we turned it into a lead magnet. So nice clean download. It does this little thing, you know. So I'm calling out my ideal client. Tension couples who struggle talking about money. I mean, who's been there, right? Okay. Finally, a strategy to stop arguing about money with your spouse. Now, notice we're not talking about Awaken Life. We're not talking about Scott. We're talking about the topic of interest.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we're building an email list, it can't be about us. It really needs to be about what they're interested in. Okay. So if you and your spouse always seem to be in conflict about money, it doesn't have to be this way. I've created a special resource that lays out the 3-step path to financial intimacy guidebook. Download today and start removing financial conflict in your marriage. I'm like, okay, get instant access. You know, I don't know who this guy is. And then kind of teases what we're going to be talking about. And then we don't talk about Scott till the bottom, like who is talking about this. So once we've hooked them with the content, now it raises the question, okay, well, who's writing this? And then we come down to Scott. And then just restating the call to action, okay? So we opt in, it goes to the pop-up. Where's the best place to send your free download? Send me the path to financial intimacy guidebook. So if you want a list build, you want to lead with what your ideal clients are thinking about. Okay, or maybe they didn't know they were thinking about. You want to hook their attention. All right, are you struggling with money? Is this a problem? I have something I want to send you. Okay, now the same principle applies to a quiz. Like, do you want insight on this thing you've been thinking about? Take the quiz to find out your answer. Okay, so that's a more curiosity driven, right? Or it's free training where I'm going to teach you blah, right? So whatever you're actually giving them matters less than the principle, what is going through your ideal client's mind that you can speak to, okay? And you're thinking, well, maybe I'm a plumber, right? I'm a dentist, right? I perform this service that everybody knows about. Nobody thinks about plumbing and dentistry. Well, you can create an information lead magnet, a product around whatever your bread and butter service is, your brick and mortar service, like 3 ways to prevent leaky pipes in the winter, right? So the principle works for literally every industry. You just have to use a little creativity, right? So Scott is a relationship and a performance coach. Why are we talking about money? Well, because it's something that his ideal clients struggle with. They're married entrepreneurs with kids. Okay, so if you're married and you're sharing a checking account, there's inherent conflict there. If you're entrepreneurs, right, you are busy, right? You maybe it can be tough to connect and communicate about things. And you have kids, well, they're just hand grenades in the living room, right? They ruin everything in a good way, right? So his ideal clients live very busy, hectic lives, and hopefully they're making some money. So now it's like, okay, you're making money, more problems. Well, I think we should buy a boat. I think we should buy a cabin. I think that we should do this and that. Like, no, I don't. I have different priorities, and then there's conflict, right? Hence the resource. So you opt into that, and then you go to the thank you page. Now, the secret sauce with funnels is you don't want to just, as soon as you grab their email, you want to hold their hand and take them to the next step, right? So previously, and I'll show you the stats on this before we wrap up. So previously, this was like this video right here. I'm pointing to my computer screen like you can see it. All right, this video right here was a 45-minute, all right, think of the logic in this. This is why I reworked this thing. It was a 45-minute live training, which was basically the first module of this course that we're selling down here, but way too freaking long, right? And the call to action was buy a $7 course. And I'm like, if I can actually get somebody to sit for 45 minutes and I'm only asking them for $7,
yeah,
that's stupid for me.
That's a whole webinar.
That's a whole webinar, right? If you have like hooked people's attention for an hour, you should be asking them for a lot, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I flipped it around. I took the VSL, the video sales letter from this course, and I put it here. And it basically talks about the overview of financial intimacy. I'm just saying, bonus free training, right? And then I'm selling this course for $97 because there was a ton of stuff in there. I added a few more things and I jacked up the price. Okay. So hopefully if I spend $1,000 in building this list, you know, I can recoup that cost and break even.
There you go.
Right. This is funnels 101 stuff, but you'll notice that as soon as I grab their email, I'm not spending a whole bunch of time. Like I'm not giving it to them on this page. First reason is because I want a good email, right? So if they gave me a bogus email and they see that they don't actually get the download on the thank you page, maybe they're gonna like actually go back and give me a good email. So you can have a double opt-in email where you make people confirm that they subscribed. Another way to do it is like only send the stuff that they want to their email. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's kind of like a hidden double opt-in on the email. So I did it like that. And also, I don't want them to read the lead magnet right now. I want them to almost forget about it. And then, you know, when they're sitting on the toilet scrolling through their phone, they're going to see that lead magnet in there and they're going to open it up and they're going to see the call to action, which brings them back to this course, right? I want them to consume the sales message for this course. And then it be reinforced with the email follow-up, okay? So then it goes to here. So the call to action on the lead magnet goes back to this course. And as you'll notice, this is the same video. So we can run retargeting back to this course if they don't, you know, for some reason they didn't see that video or whatever, okay? And then, bam, you know, right there to the order. And then it goes through the whole offer stack. Anyway, so this little lead magnet, the path to financial intimacy, it was working. All right, so let's look at our stats. So we ran ads to it for about 2 months, I believe. We weren't spending a lot of money. I think maybe $10 or $15 a day. So we'll go all time. I don't remember when we started doing it, but this was certainly before we started running ads to it. All right, so 1,000 unique views and then 278 opt-ins, so 25%.
Nice.
So we had 282. Oh, that's kind of a scary number, 666. All right, so we had 282 unique views, and then, well, I mean, this is the magic number. We got 278 emails. So it's not a complex page, right? So we were probably paying $4 or $5 for an email, you know, cost per clicks, probably somewhere around $1. Now the problem is I didn't have a clear path to get their money, right? And I had to sell a lot of those things, even with order bumps and upsells and all that, to actually recoup my money. So we kind of ran out of gas. So what I did was I shortened the sales cycle and I made it more expensive. All right, see what I did there? And yeah, because the more, I know funnels are powerful, but the more steps you add, people are going to drop off at each stage of the game. So how do you build an email list, Andreas? Well, you, a very relevant, easy to consume topic, right? That is very top of mind or painful for your ideal client, okay? And then immediately you try and self-liquidate, okay? And then we validate the email address through actually delivering what they want through the email address. So anyway, we are running, I'm excited to kind of share the results with you again. Hopefully this still works, this still converts, and we can actually, you know, make money in a funnel. Because another thing transparently I struggled with is making money in funnels, even though I'm the funnel guy, because I'm always building everyone else's stuff. And, you know, when you build stuff for other people, things are outside your control. People can't afford ads and whatever, or like myself, things are not instant. It doesn't produce instant return and then they abandon it. Right. So another thing Russell said in that podcast, which is very informative, is when it doesn't work right away, relaunch, try again. Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Good, good, thanks.
I'm Perry. I'm a friend of Michael's upstairs.
Oh, Caleb, nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm a
to
new
meet you.
guy.
Oh, right on, Caleb. Sorry to.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah,
No, you're fine.
gotta grab some stuff.
All right. Okay.
So quick question. So
Yeah. Yeah,
When you're
takeaways,
writing-
what you got?
when you're writing your funnel, the copy should more be like solution based to their pain point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. What motivates you to go to the doctor? A well visit, or you're in pain and you want to get something fixed?
The latter.
Okay, people are just generally more motivated by pain. They're more driven to action by pain. I don't know if they're motivated by it. Everyone has goals, dreams, aspirations, but actually getting people to take action, it's usually
yeah.
pain. Okay, so
It's like you don't have a money problem, you have a solution problem. You need to fix the solution or whatever your pain is, because you're misplacing your money basically on like that financial one that you're using. It's not that you don't have money, it's that you're using it incorrectly. So this is why you need to learn the financial strategy.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of that lead magnet is it's not like a Dave Ramsey resource where it's like, hey, learn how to budget your money. Like maybe they know how to budget their money. Maybe they're good with their money. Maybe they have a lot of money or a little money, but bottom line is there's conflict about money.
Was that offer like a future pacing offer, like a solution for a problem you're gonna have after you have
Always.
success in my course?
I don't know. I mean, I think conflict about money is agnostic to how much money you make.
That's
You know,
true.
more money, more I mean, you could be
Yeah.
poor and be happy and content, but you just don't have any money, right? You could have a ton of money and there can be constant issues, right? And so his resource is more about how do you remove the conflict aspect of it, which ties into his relationship coaching, his whole life management system, living with fulfillment. So it's kind of the precursor to all that.
Okay.
It's just identifying one pain point that his ideal clients would have. Now,
Okay, got it.
similar resources about, we've run similar lead magnets for communication problems, right? Which converted at about 50%, right? So they're just, yeah, anyway. Sarah, any takeaways?
Yeah, just resonating with a lot of things you were saying in terms of trying to do our own stuff in addition to supporting our clients, and particularly around if it doesn't work and don't get instant results, people abandon it. And yeah, one of the things that I really try and encourage them to do is not to abandon it and keep going. And yeah, and kind of setting expectations as well, because people do expect a funnel to be magic, and in my experience, and create instant results. And it's not magic. It still needs work. You still got to put, it's like a car, you still got to put fuel in it, you still got to drive it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can give you the car, Caleb can give you the car, but we still need our clients to put the fuel in and drive the vehicle from A to B. And if you don't drive it and you don't put fuel in, it ain't going to do much. So, it's really making, I think, just like setting people's expectations around that at the beginning, because funnels are they are amazing, but they do require some work.
And the funnel's best, the things the funnel does the best is collect people's contact info. So you have to reach out to them just inherently. That's really the first step. Capture and then that nurture. Steve, what's your thought?
Yeah, I completely 100% agree with you about emails. Being I put in the chat in our chat here, the emails are the lifeblood to your business. I learned that long time ago when I first got into learning the online business, is your emails, and that totally makes sense, because that's the only list that you will actually own. I mean, you could have in your Facebook page, and you have 1 million followers or whatever. Facebook can just shut off your account, and there goes all your list. But if you own their emails, I mean, that's probably, even, I was gonna say as good as, but it's probably better than having a phone number right now, because like I said, you own that list. And I mean, an email is the first thing that was done over the internet. So I mean, I would say that's more than foundational, you know?
Okay, one last question just for fun.
Okay.
What year did you guys send your first email?
Send
Yeah.
right after AOL came out.
What year was that?
You got mail in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
90 something,
97,
90 something.
98, 98,
Yeah.
98.
I was in high school, I think.
What about you,
I
Sandra?
I have no idea. I remember I got my first computer, didn't know what to do with it, but I had a gal working it. And that was back in probably 85, 86, 87, but I don't know if I was using it for emails at that time or if it was just a business machine at the time.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
I sent my first one in
96.
'94. I was in fourth grade.
94.
My library, the library at my elementary school had this like new thing where you could send messages to other like students at like somehow there was like an email server between schools, right? And I had a
Right.
friend from church. I found out, I don't even remember how. I mean, it was 100 years ago. Anyway, my librarian helped me send my first email in like 1994, and so. And,
I
asked her
think
about
I was
that.
on the legacy for a church committee for legacy planning or something. And we were finally getting our little brochure together. And I said, you know, we need to put our email address on in our Facebook or webpage. And they said, nobody knows what that is. We don't, most of us don't even have. I said, well, they're going to come along. So you might as well get it printed in there in the first place. Not that I knew,
There
but
you
that
go.
was probably in that 97, 98 range as well.
A trailblazer. Well, I appreciate you guys. So
All right. Thank you, Caleb.
who's gonna work on their email list in some way, shape, or form this week? Yeah, you got to, right? Don't overthink it. You don't have to have all your offers figured out. Just a simple lead magnet out there in the world that you're always pushing people to, whether it's through organic or paid traffic. Join my email list. Even if it's just join my newsletter. How unsexy is that, right? The Chuck Hoskovic newsletter.com, right? Chuck, I want to see that. I want you to have a newsletter, right? That's just Chuck thoughts.
Chuck's news. Chuck's
Can I,
news.
Chuckster.
can I try this on you
Thoughts
guys?
from
for
the
a few seconds?
Chuckster.
I don't know about that.
Can I try
Call
this
it,
on you
call it,
guys
what's
for a
up,
minute?
Chuck?
What's
Call it,
up,
what's
Chuck?
Chuck?
Chuck.
What the Chuck?
What's that, Sandra? We got to wrap up.
Yeah,
Sandra's.
while we were talking, I was trying to say, okay, I'm thinking about the real you. So I'm thinking, okay, the titles, the headlines would be the real you and your imposter syndrome, the real you and your money mess, the real you and your stressful job, the real you and your glass ceiling. Basically
Just
saying
got
what's
yourself
to
a
the real
blog.
you.
Caleb,
Yes?
this is an idea that I had about getting emails. I was talking with Mauricio and I said, listen, let's export everybody that's booked a meeting with me in Calendly. Let's export that and let's send an email to that list
That's
to
bonus.
find out if they're still interested in what we have to offer.
That's great.
I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted validation on that. So amen.
It's a
Good.
good one.
Sandra, to your question, let's see it in print. I guess I need to like see it on a page or something to understand kind of the headline. But yeah, people love talking about and learning about themselves. So if you can tap into that curiosity and narcissism, I think you can build some email lists.
That's true. That's true.
All right, I'll see you guys at 8:30.
All right.
Our workshop call if you want to work on building your email list.